Good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA word of the day for February 8th, 2025. And the word for today is convincing Mr. Hyde. That is a book, uh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll was the nice guy, and Mr. Hyde was his kind of like alter ego. And it was made a movie with Spencer Tracy, I think. So here's the quote. Even then, as we hew away, peace and joy may still elude us. That's a place so many of us AA oldsters have come to. It's a hell of a spot, literally. How shall our unconscious, from which so many of our fears, compulsions, and phony aspirations still stream, be brought into line with what we actually believe, know, and want? How to convince our dumb, raging, and hidden Mr. Hyde becomes our main task. And that is taken from a wonderful book called The Language of the Heart, page 237. So here's a daily reflection. Regular attendance at meetings, serving and helping others is the recipe that have many have tried and found to be successful. Whenever I stray from these three basic principles, my old habits resurface and my old self comes back with all its fears and defects. The ultimate goal of each member is a permanent sobriety achieved one day at a time. And that last sentence is something because we don't plan our sobriety. Well, I'm going to be sober this year. We say, I choose for today not to drink. In this 24-hour period, I'm not going to drink. And funny thing, it has a habit of adding up. I look at some of the YouTube pages of the newly sober and the great joy and wonderful joy they feel at reaching 30 days. And I can remember how that felt. God bless them. There's a Latin phrase, ad multos años, many years, many more years. And oh, what a great feeling it is when you feel it the first time. Uh, I don't know. There's less of that excitement when you start to really get up there in years, become double digit, and then move to 20 to 30. It just it's that freshness that excited me. I remember the 7 days. Then I remember my first year, and oh, picking up that medallion. I felt like $1,000,000. I was invited to speak. Someone wanted to hear what I had to say about my experience, strength, and hope. And boy, I have found, I talked to regular attendance at meetings, serving and helping others is a recipe we found to be successful. And that is very true because the one thing with me that really hasn't gone away is my triggers. And I only say this, I'm not trying to make myself look good, but if when I go to the market, if the line says 10 or less, then if I get in that line, I have 10 or less. Even if I'm invited in and I have half a cart because, no one's using it, I say, no, I'll go to the regular one. I know how I feel when I pull up to an express counter and someone's got like 50 items. They may have been invited, but I know how I feel. I just wouldn't do it. And that is one of the buttons that pushes. And people that block aisles, just, they keep the cart behind them. And some of them have ample rear ends so that when they bend over to look at something, they're totally blocking the aisle. And that pushes my buttons, although it doesn't push my buttons so much if when I say, "Can I get by?" they don't give me a dirty look. I guess I'm trying to hang on to the side of righteousness. I'm right, you're wrong, and I shouldn't do that. I don't know. It just pushes my buttons, and I know it does a lot of other people. Because once I said, "Can you move? We can't get by," and then the person that was behind me trying to get through said, "Thank you for saying that." And so it's little things like that, but they can lead to bigger things. I know that. I know that very well. It can set me, not that I'm going to drink, but I'm going to act like a jerk. And that I don't want to do because it's a spiritual program. It's a spiritual malady we have. And alcohol is a symptom, but alcohol isn't everything. I can be just as sick, without alcohol in me if I don't watch myself and do what I know is the next right thing. And so, and as I mentioned in my other video, uh, I went to bed early last night. I was reading. My goal is to read 3 books a month for 2025. That'll be a record for me. And so I finished up one book, and I'm not going to make 3 for this month. I'm only going to make 2 because I read a lot of short stories. So I'm going to talk to this guy, and I really respect him. He's got himself organized like anything online, and I do read novellas, science fiction novellas from all the magazines I get, and yeah, I'm going to see if those can count. Probably not. But anyway, I didn't see the news last night. And when I get up this morning, I make a pot of percolated coffee. And while I'm waiting for it, I give it 15 minutes. I know my stove now. When I get down here to Florida, I didn't know anything about electric stoves. Never touched one in my life. And now I got one of those flat ones that doesn't have the electric coils. It's like a glass top, and it's not induction. It's electric, but so I give the water 10 minutes to stop boiling. So I sit out with the cat on the porch, watch the sun come up, and all the birds get the worms early in the morning. And so I didn't turn the TV on till I finished 2 of these programs that I turned on. I found out about the helicopter airplane crash, and that they didn't suspect that there were any survivors. And I would just like to, if you're watching this, take some time out and pray for the family. I do believe in prayer. Prayer has helped me. Prayer has kept me sober. The grace of God keeps me going. As I say, I'm past the expiration date of guys with type 1 diabetes. So I just feel bad for the families in it. I guess these were figure skaters that just appeared in the national championship they had somewhere in, I think it was Kansas. And it's awful. I think of that every time I fly, you know. and they were so close to landing. In 2000, no, in 1997, I took, I won an award and I went to Vancouver, British Columbia. They flew me out there. It was a nursing award for students. And so I flew from the Providence, Rhode Island airport to Seattle, then took a boat. We all gathered in Seattle, went out on a cruise, and then we went up to Vancouver. One student from each state was picked. And so we had to think it was 10 days, all expenses paid, spending money. It was nice. And one of the benefits of being sober, by the way, and then I flew back, and this is the truth. I could count the line when we were landing. I could count the lines on the ground. Then all of a sudden, a big explosion, lightning had struck the control tower, and all the lights went out, and we went up in the air, and we had to land in Boston. The pilot came on. We're all safe, folks. Nothing's wrong. I just cannot land on a dock runway. He says, I can't take that chance. Your safety is my greatest concern. So we're going to Boston. We can't avoid it. And we did, and they had buses to get us back to Providence. And it was okay. I was all set. And so you never know what's going to happen up there. Just be prepared to meet your maker at any time in your life. Always doing the next right thing. And I pray for the families who have to deal with this. After such a wonderful event of figure skating. And I think I watched part of it. I wasn't sure where it was coming from, but it was on television. I don't really watch that much television. And what I watch, like I watch, I like UFC, I like wrestling, and I like boxing, and I do like figure skating. And yeah, so God bless you all. Have a safe and sober day, and we will see you tomorrow.